Okay. And we are running a little ahead of schedule, but that's totally fine. We will just jump into it and then wrap up maybe 10 minutes early. So in the chat, I have just added our day 2 feedback survey link once again. So please do open it, take a look if you haven't already. But with the end of Mahita and Jay's presentations brings us to the close of day 2. So if you have stuck with us this whole time, it is much appreciated. Thank you for dedicating another 4 hours of your day with us. As I've mentioned multiple times, we do want to hear from you, and that feedback survey, whilst I've collated everything that people have added into the Q&A, the formal survey is actually a really great way to do it too. So it allows us to improve our resources through the feedback, and not only the workshop itself, which we do like to improve each year, but the resources, the tools, the database, etc. So yeah, day 2 feedback survey is in the chat, and don't forget you will receive a post-event feedback survey in that post-event email that you get a week from the end of the workshop, and that will just look at the event on a holistic level. And as an example, one of the things that we want to know is, does the 3-day format work for you as well? So there is that link in the chat. Feel free to take some time now to complete the survey as I just do a brief recap and wrap up. The other reminder is, of course, our Twitter. We've seen some great posts, so feel free to continue to share what you've learned, what you found interesting over the course of the day. Tag us at IEDB_ and hashtag IEDBUW 2022. All right, a brief recap. First, about 4 hours ago, you heard from Dr. Raphael Trevisani, one of our postdocs, on the MHC binding predictions. So we had the MHC class 1 and then the class 2. Following that, you heard from Dr. Bjorn Peters, our co-PI for the IEDB, on T-cell processing and immunogenicity predictions. And that is a quick snap there. After that, you heard from Daniel Marama, our bioinformatics research tech, bioinformatics specialist, I should say, and that was PEPMatch there. And then you later saw PEPMatch in its new and final version on the new tools site as well. After PEPMatch, you heard from Dr. Raphael Trevisani once again on TCR Match, which is available currently on our existing analysis resource site, and that is a photo there. And most recently, you heard from Dr. Mahita Jajapul, our postdoctoral researcher, on the B-cell epitope prediction tools. And that is a quick snapshot there of both the linear and the discontinuous prediction tools, ELIPro Discotope that she spoke about. One thing actually I will add, Mahita did briefly mention some 3D options in the B-cell prediction tools, and we will once again go into more detail on 3D structures tomorrow. So we have 2 presentations dedicated to that, so if you're interested, make sure you do join us for day 3. And then lastly, we just heard from Dr. Jerry Greenbaum, our bioinformatics core director, on IEDB Tools 3.0, the future of tools. And thanks again for providing some of the feedback there as well. So that's a quick screenshot. But now with that, day 1 was behind us, completed yesterday, and now day 2 is complete as well. So day 3, looking ahead, is our specialized topics day. So it's the new day that we've built into the schedule this year. And we'll be targeting a few different areas, but namely 3D structures and how to analyze them, both in the IEDB database and from a tools perspective. We'll also be sharing our latest cancer resource. So some of you who attended last year may remember CEDAR, which was very, very new in its infant stages last year. And we're very happy to say that we've built upon this with new grant funding from the National Cancer Institute. And we have a functional cancer epitope database and analysis resource, which is very similar to the IEDB in terms of overall functionality, but where the IEDB does not include cancer epitopes, CEDA is formed around cancer epitopes. So if that is your area of interest, definitely do not miss that presentation tomorrow as well. And we'll build upon what we showed you last year as well. And then finally, one of the other specialty areas is HIV. So as we do with every year, we have our colleagues at the Los Alamos National Laboratory come and present their HIV databases as well. So they'll be returning this year to present that. So definitely don't miss it if HIV is your area of interest and research as well. So that was an explanation, but I actually do have the breakdown of the day 3 preview. So after a brief welcome from me tomorrow, you'll be hearing from Dr. Marcus Mendez, IEDB 3D 2.0 Visualizing Structures in the IEDB. This is our latest project that's just gone live, and you'll actually see it if you look at the IEDB homepage, but Marcus will go through that in great detail and show you some examples. So definitely recommend that. Dr. Paolo Marcatilli, via a recording, one of our colleagues at the Denmark Technical University, will be presenting the structure tools, Lyra and Scepter. So these we previously presented on day 2, but it made more sense to do it as a specialized presentation with the structures on day 3. So you will hear more about Lyra and Scepter tomorrow. We'll have a Q&A after that, and then you'll be hearing from Jay once again on a new topic, IEDB Query API, so the IQ API. We did briefly present on this last year, and we'll be giving you an updated look at the API this year as well. Following that, again, we'll have our colleagues from the Los Alamos National Laboratory, Elizabeth Sharon Fung and Jennifer Mackey, and they'll be presenting the LANL HIV databases. Another Q&A and break, and then we'll wrap up with CEDA. So the Cancer Epitope Database and Analysis Resource will be presented by Dr. Zeynep Kozaloglu-Yalçın. And then you'll be hearing from Dr. Alessandro Sete once again from day 1. He'll be wrapping up day 3 with an application of the CEDA database. So the CEDA prostate cancer meta-analysis. And this is something that we did at every point after we finished curating a category in the IEDB. And since we've been maintaining that IEDB forever, it's now allowed us to create a new meta-analysis as we've completed the curation of the prostate cancer epitopes in CEDA. So this is a nice little revival topic. This publication is well underway. We'd hopefully like to submit it and by the end of this year, and it will actually show you how you can use CEDA in your analysis and research as well as providing just some context around what does the data say about prostate cancer and in the context of epitopes. So after that, a Q&A, and then I'll finish with some closing remarks, and then you won't hear from me again because at 12 p.m. tomorrow, we will finish our 3rd and final day of the user workshop. So thank you again for hanging out with us for as long as you have. If you do have any additional questions, feel free to email us at help@iedb.org, and we will do our best to get back to you at the close of the workshop, ideally, but sooner than that. And then lastly, we'd like to thank you all once again for joining us on day 2 of our 3-day workshop. I'd like to also thank our wonderful presenters for day 1 and day 2 as well. But of course, our attendees, the fact that you've dedicated your time to learning more about the IEDB and the tools is really a great thing for us, and it makes our work very worthwhile. So thank you. We hope to see you tomorrow for day 3. The final day of the workshop. And again, we appreciate your time and interest in the IEDB. So thank you all, and have a lovely afternoon, day, or whatever time it is.